Hey there, YouTube. Fantasy Football Sensei here, bringing you a new type of video. In these videos, I'm going to be breaking down some of the Dynasty teams that I manage and sharing some of my tips, what's going on with that team, and what I'm going to try to do throughout the season. So first off, we have our Team Alpha here. This team is very unique. Let's look at the type of league this is. All my leagues are very, very similar. They're very deep Dynasty leagues. So we're drafting a lot of players. We're starting a lot of players. First, you'll see in the left box, this blue box, the 12-team Dynasty League with PPR, no tight end premium, roster sizes are 24, and we start 11 players. Amongst those 11, you have to start 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers, and 1 tight end, and you get 2 flexes on top of that. A lot of players get started in these leagues. As you can see, I only have a 4th round pick in the 2026 season. What I did last year, I took over this team. It was an orphan dynasty team, and it did not have CeeDee Lamb on it, and it had the 101 for Ashton Jeanty. So I took Ashton Jeanty at number 1, and then I traded from our wide receiver room Marvin Harrison Jr. into CeeDee Lamb to accelerate this team's competitiveness. Last season, I came in right around 6th or 7th place. That's all right. Tucker Kraft getting hurt. Lamar fell off. CeeDee got hurt. Drake London was down. Ricky Pearsall was not good. There was a lot of things going on. This team really underperformed, but that's okay. I'm trying to retool up and compete again this year in 2026. I highlighted in green all the players that are on my roster that are starting if I had to submit a lineup right now, which we haven't even had the NFL draft for the next season. It's March. Y'all, this team could change so much between now and then, but that's what these videos are for, so that I can update you on the path with this team. First off, my quarterback room is Lamar Jackson. Great. I love Lamar. Followed up by Bryce Young. He's been coming on kind of strong. Justin Fields was a spot I had extra on my roster. I figured, why not throw him on the team? Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. I could always look to get a quarterback or something at some point, but this team's anchored pretty hard with Lamar and Bryce Young, and I'm looking at this team as a contender right now. The reason I don't have any 3rd or 2nd round picks is throughout the season in the running back position, I acquired Jordan Mason and Kareem Hunt, giving away low picks that really didn't matter. However, going into this season, Kareem Hunt doesn't necessarily matter. They did just sign Kenneth Walker. Jordan Mason is still splitting time with Aaron Jones. They just restructured his deal. So we got Ashton Jeanty, we got Breece Hall, and I'm looking at Braylon Allen, man. If Breece Hall can get traded to a team where he's going to get used and Braylon Allen steps up, that's going to be great. I'll have 3 strong running backs, and then we'll just have some random bench guys with Jordan Mason, Kareem Hunt, DJ Giddens, and Jonathan Brooks. It's fine, y'all. I like the running back room. I traded and made it into this. The running back room had nothing before, so I gave it this to try to work toward a team that could win now. This team has Lamar, and it has CeeDee. It has Devontae Adams, so it has Keenan Allen in the receiver room. This team is strong. It's not going to be strong for many seasons, but in the next 1 to 2 seasons, this team's going to be strong, and that's what I'm trying to do, is to get the championship in 2026 or 2027. That's the goal for this team. And then by 2028, I'll have my 1st round draft picks back, and we'll just start drafting younger talent or trading into younger assets. So let's look at my receiver room. I'm starting 5 receivers right now, which is going to be CeeDee Lamb, Rashid Rice, Drake London, Devontae Adams. It gets a little dicey at Ricky Pearsall, but if you look after Ricky Pearsall, there's Keenan Allen, Kayshon Boutte, the New Orleans receiver, or the New England receiver. Jalen Coker has been coming on strong. And Calvin Ridley, I still think Calvin Ridley has some in the tank. I have him in most of my leagues. I got him for like a 3rd or a 4th round pick. I like Calvin Ridley. So this wide receiver room, as you could see, has a lot of strength. And by week 1, I'll know a lot more. In the tight end room, we have Tucker Kraft coming back from ACL tear. Not the best, y'all. Kyle Pitts, though, is looking kind of strong. The quarterbacks in Atlanta, now we do have Tua and Penix. One of the two is going to be good. And if he happens to get traded or go somewhere else, he'll get utilized really aggressively. And then you see we got Andre Gadsden, Los Angeles Chargers tight end. Super, super good tight end. He's my main sleeper if I don't take a tight end in the first rounds. I'm definitely going to draft Andre Gadsden in the mid rounds. If you're in a single season league, he might be the exact kind of guy you're trying to lock up this year. Mike McDaniels is running that offense. Justin Herbert's going to dish. Keenan Allen might be good again. The team is very strong. And then we also got Brendan Strange. He came on and off last year. I think he's good. People think Trevor Lawrence is a top 5 Dynasty QB. So, you might as well take Brendan Strange. So what you see with this team is in the 26 picks, I got the 407. It doesn't really matter. Probably what I'll end up doing off this team is I assume Rodgers will retire or Justin Fields will not be relevant. So I'll just drop one of them off. And then I'll put my 407 there. It doesn't really matter who I take at 407. Just kind of who's there. Last year, I think Brashard Smith was going like way in that round. So, he's someone I would have taken last year. I know what's going on with the class. I pay a lot of attention. Maybe before, it comes around and I actually make my pick, I'll bring it up. And then when I bring up my pick, I'll make a little video about it. And then you see in 2025, we have our second, third, fourth, 2025, y'all, 2027. This 2027 class is supposed to be super strong. So that second round pick supposedly is going to get some really good talent. Even the thirds they say are good. I don't know, y'all. I'm happy to trade my picks for proven players. In this league, with the depth that I deal with and having to start so many players, when I traded for Jordan Mason last year, when I traded for Kareem Hunt last year, giving up like a third, a second, a third, something like that for him, I decided that I would rather have vets that are playing football that can score me points than these random players on my teams that don't matter. So many running backs come into the NFL with so much potential, and then they just kind of fizzle out because it's a competitive league and they're just not quite that good, I guess. I don't know. It could be off the field issues, dozens of reasons athletes fail out. But it's crazy to see. That's why I value someone like Keenan Allen on this team. Devontae Adams, I think, is what I traded my second of 2026 into. I might have set my 2026 second 207 straight for Devontae Adams, possibly. Something like that, y'all. This team, I did a lot of work with it. I made a lot of trades, and I feel like I finally solidified the roster, and hopefully going into next year, Breece Hall gets traded, Braylon Allen steps up, Jordan Mason or Kareem Hunt or Jonathan Brooks, or, maybe DJ Giddens could do something if something ever happened to Jonathan Taylor. But that's all right, y'all. This team can have a weak spot, and it can be my RB3. But I can tell you that my wide receivers are strong. My tight ends are super strong. I'm trying to move a tight end into a receiver or running back. It's been really tough. Unfortunately, these leagues, people are scared to trade in from what I've noticed. So they're super stingy about stuff. But, overall, y'all, it's a positive league. I like playing. I'm always open to join new dynasty leagues, especially the ones that play for money. I like the community online. I like listening to people's videos when I'm driving to work. It's like an hour commute for me both ways at times. So, I have a lot of fun listening. So I'm happy to share my experience, things I'm doing with my teams. And I hope y'all like it, y'all. Fantasy Football Sensei out.